What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer slash seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hello, Greg.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm well. Started drinking with straws.
Why?
This Mike made one comment last week.
Are your teeth getting yellow?
No, not that. I wouldn't give a shit.
I used to
smoke butts all the time.
I know you did.
I don't care about that. No, he was like, oh, yeah, we joking around right on the stream.
Yeah.
And he made a comment. He's like, oh, yeah, the ice, we always have the ice thrown back.
Yeah.
Always throwing the ice back with the cap. So now I'm trying to make a concerted effort to not annoy Mike or
what
Andy
a little pro you are out there doing your work.
This, because I do imagine that it is annoying to hear that ice getting
Sure.
thrown
Yeah,
back
no.
every 5
I mean,
seconds.
the audience has said it for years. I appreciate you didn't respect them. You just respected Mike and Andy.
Never seen that comment once in my life.
Okay, really?
Nope.
Okay, we can go find them. We'll find them for you. Don't
I,
worry about it.
I challenge you to fucking find. Is this what this is going to be about?
Airing of grievances?
Airing of grievances?
Well, Nick, we didn't get around to doing each other's performance evaluations this year during the Kind of Funny review process. So
I feel like we had to call Jack Quaid in for this.
Yeah,
Have
of
him
course.
review me.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, because maybe you're in your car listening, maybe you're in your UPS truck listening, maybe your office job listening. If you can't see us, though, it's just me and Nick. Andy, bitten by snakes. Tim
Took him out.
delivered the snakes, rolled his ar on the way back, trying to get back to Gia. So they're both out. They're both
you
out.
know why.
They're both, yeah.
Nick took the wheel.
I forgot one. He's like,
Good.
flipped his little Prius.
His little Prius.
Little fucking Prius.
He loves saying that, don't you?
Prius.
What's funny is I think your car is technically the same size and or littler, but Tim's car looks
But my
littler.
car looks cool.
Yeah.
The Mini Cooper looks cool. That's a respectable car. The people drive by like, is that the Italian job? Like, they're stoked about it. You
Is
know
that
what I mean?
Mark Wahlberg
Yeah,
in that Mini
exactly.
Cooper?
Nick,
Yeah.
you actually
Wahlberg
think
is right
it looks cool?
The Mini Cooper?
Yeah.
It's a look.
Because like
I mean, it's a small car. All small car. I don't think that car is that small.
Here's
Can
my
look
thing.
Cool.
The
They're
Prius
just
C
fun.
is
They're
an
fun
ugly
cars.
body. I've said
The
my thing.
Prius in general is a utilitarian body. I don't think it's great looking, but
Yeah.
that's not what you buy the car for. Obviously.
No.
The Mini Cooper has
Looks like an
a
X01.
spunk to it,
Done. Yeah, it does have a
a
spunk.
spirit to it.
Yeah.
Rather, is what I meant.
Spirit. Some people hear it.
So you buy that car because you think it's cute. It's a cute car.
Yeah.
Cute car.
Yeah.
Cool doesn't come anywhere into like the equation
Okay.
we're talking about.
Fair
these
enough.
Things, you know
It's
what I
got a personality I dig.
It definitely does. It
Because, you know, I've been talking on the show often about since Tim introduced this Volkswagen electric bus into my life, where I'm like, I want an electric eventually. Ben's going to be bigger. I'm eventually going to have to drop him off, pick him. We were at a bakery the other day,
Mm-hmm.
like I think Saturday. Not that this matters unless you're the person who drove this car. And they pulled up in an electric Countryman, which is a bigger. It's like it's the 4-door Mini Cooper, but it's bigger.
Oh, right.
And it was an electric one. I was like, I didn't know they made the electric man in country. And
They just call that-
then my wheels started spinning of what if I just get a white Countryman?
You're just gonna
white,
upgrade to the same car but white. But
a little bit bigger, a little bit
bigger.
longer. You
do
know?
they call that one just the Cooper?
No, I have just the Cooper. Because there's the Mini Cooper and then there's the Mini Cooper S. And when I test drove the Mini Cooper, they put me in the Mini Cooper S.
Mhm.
And like they're like, floor it and you'll feel. I was like, fuck, this car does pick up.
It kicks.
And he's like, here's how much it'll be to get the S version. I'm like, fuck that, no thanks. And every time I fucking
said no to
floor it in
that.
my Mini Cooper now, it goes,
wind
the
up
Echo
toy.
trying to get on the fucking highway, now getting run over. I'm like,
Man.
should've got the S every time.
Yeah, every
I say to
time.
Jen all the time because it's literally like, floor it and like, I'm coming over.
Yeah.
I'm a Ghostbuster.
Always
Get
get
out
that
of the
extra
way.
power, man. You
Yeah.
never regret it.
Yeah, no.
You never regret it.
That's the Countryman there, yeah.
That's a nice. See, actually, I'll take it back. That's a pretty cool looking car.
And again, the Mini
like that
Cooper's
car.
like, you know, there's like, I have the 4-door Mini Cooper, so there's the Countryman there, right? And then it's like, bam, bam, you got like the normal size Mario, and then you go a little smaller with the 2-door, just
Sure.
2-door Cooper, and that's like little Mario when you start the game.
I'm a fan of the sort of the mini, like the smaller, sportier looking hatchback cars. We don't sell too many of those in America, so it's cool that they can bring those back.
Yeah.
Audi used to have one for a bit. Volkswagen used to have one for a bit, but I don't think you can get them anymore. I think everything's a sedan now for the most part.
BKD, Big Kev Dog, can I get some AC out here? I don't know about you, but I got this laptop here. Just,
Yeah,
You can have some AC. Yeah, I don't mind it. I never.
is that
mind
thing, you know,
AC.
again, like I've gone and I've done the, hey, I need a referral for the vasectomy. And it's like, cool, you'll get it. Here's the guy you got to talk to. It's another appointment.
Wait, you got to go. Your doctor can't just snip it there.
No, you know how it is. It's like doing anything in the healthcare system. You got to fight a million mini bosses before you get the thing you want.
True.
But this, like, you know, this hot computer on my lap, you know, puts me in the clear for a couple days, which is
Now, are we still planning on? Now, can you ask that guy? And I'll just take a picture.
Just come with me. Just come with me to the referral.
If I can't make it up there, can
Yeah.
I just send you a picture of the underside of my balls and have him look at them?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
Can you do my friend also?
it's going to be a consultation. I'm sure it's like 10 seconds. You want to do this? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. All right, cool. And then, sorry, one question for you, though. So my friend is my co-founder. Would you mind doing us at the same time?
2 for 1.
So we can film it for a podcast?
Can we get a 2 for
Would you
1?
be fine with that? Because that'd be great if we could do that.
Honestly, you should ask him that.
I'm down.
Danielle wants me to get a freaking vasectomy so badly. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. It just seems like I don't
It's more
need
work.
necessarily
We're
do it."
busy, right? Aren't we busy?
I'm so busy.
I got so much stuff going on.
I'm so busy.
Very busy. I got
don't know.
things and stuff.
Are you? So you're seriously gonna do it?
Eventually, yeah. Like it's not at the top of my mind. It's like one of those things where it goes around. It goes around the old Rolodex of shit I need to do.
It's the honey-do
There's
list.
so much shit to do that it's not at the top of my priority
Fix
list.
the windows, paint the thing that got the thing got marred when the thing came into the house. There's always that.
Yeah,
I got a bunch of those on the day, and then
Yeah.
it's like make sure you call your mom on her birthday and then get your balls cut off.
Exactly.
Get your balls snipped.
Speaking of getting your balls cut off, but not having your balls cut off, and what happens when you don't have your balls cut off? The Haglers had their baby.
Yay!
Of course, I believe his name is Corey Hagler, Cody Hagler, Goat Hagler.
Which one? The husband?
Yeah, we don't care because
Beast Boy?
he hides his Instagram like a coward. Melissa though, lovely woman. And apparently, according to the chat, I haven't seen this confirmed anywhere. I had it told before I went live that they had the baby, and then the chat right now on patreon.com/kindafunny is popping off with the welcome of Millie Hagler.
Oh, I like that name.
Named
Very
after me.
close to Billy.
Named after you, Miller.
You can't have named the kid Miller. If it was a boy, Miller would work fine. Miller Hagler. But for a girl, you got to say
That is a little
Millie.
weird. Millie. Yeah.
Millier.
That's pretty cool.
Millier. Yeah, that is cool.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
I wonder what it really is short for.
Maleficent.
Well, isn't Jeff's
Mildred?
kid Millie? It's short. Isn't it? Isn't her name short for Millicent or something like that?
I don't know. I only know her as Millie. You know, she's
Maybe
like
I
a grown
just
up
made
now.
that up. Yeah, it's weird.
Remember when we met her and she was like 12?
Yeah.
And I remember talking to her like, "Oh, one day I'm gonna have a kid. Well, how do I make a cool kid? Like, what do I need to do and raise them?"
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "I don't know, get the fuck away from me." And then it was like, and then I saw her. She's like, adult now.
Yeah, she's like, here's a pro tip: don't bring a bunch of weird ass adult dudes around your kid.
I don't think
Don't
that's
let your
right.
kid
I
be
don't think
exposed
that's
to
right.
people like the Kind of Funny crew.
Melissa Hagler says it was my nickname in grade school. So Melissa Hagler, congratulations, of
Millie.
course.
Aw.
Congratulations to your goat husband too. Millie, is it just Millie period, or is there something we're expanding and going, and this is the shortened version of it? Thank you very much. Goaty Hagler has his handle changed here. They're saying thank you.
Good.
That's very nice.
Good.
Good. I like a good kid. We have a special podcast lined up since it's just me and Nick. But before then, I'll remind you, of course, this is the Kind of Funny podcast. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 2 best friends gather on this table, each coming to hang out with each other and talk about whatever it is they want to talk about.
Yeah.
If you want to talk with us, of course, you can head to kindafunny.com/KF podcast and give us your topics of conversation to hopefully get read on the show. Of course, then you should go to patreon.com/kindafunny. On patreon.com/kindafunny, of course, you can toss us a few bucks to keep our 11-person independent small business up and running. And of course, keep those mics and lights on. You'd get the ability to watch us record the show live just like the Haglers are. Melissa Hagler says Millie Kate, and now she's just a nickname kid. Okay. Millie Kate.
Millie, Kate, and Ashley.
Millie Kate Hagler.
Cool.
I should have Millie Kate and Ashley. Beep, 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 boop, 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 beep, boop, beep. I think that's Kanye, right?
What you just saying?
Yeah. I should have married Kate and Ashley.
Oh, that one I don't know. That's a cool G.
Boop, boop. That's a blessing thing. Him and Raj. Well, if Raj is listening, he would know too. But they've all done the whole thing now where they just tune us out.
Yeah, it's
They
fun.
liked us. They came in because of the content. Now they're too late. Kanye and Jay-Z, says Lexi G. Thank you very much. Over on patreon.com/kindafunny, you can watch the show just like us, or not just like us. You can watch it live, just like Lexi G, and comment and be a part of it and have a great time and ask us a whole bunch of questions today. Of course, you could also get every show we do ad-free. You could get every show, including this one, live as we record them. You could get more than 300, almost 400 bonus episodes of content since we launched the Spare Bedroom last year.
It's a great deal.
It's a great deal. However, I digress. If you have no bucks toss our way, no big deal. YouTube.com/kindafunny. And, of course, podcast services is the Kind of Funny podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. No matter where you get your podcasts or where you watch your videos, please like, subscribe, share, ring the bell, tell your friends, Apple, Spotify, leave reviews, star ratings, all that jazz to help us find fellow just broken-ass individuals like DJ Kento, Drew Tendo, Lexi G, Melissa Hagler, Goaty Hagler, Greg Miller, and Nick Scarpino.
That's right.
Because the world's better when we all hang out together and just fuck around. Speaking of hanging out and fucking around, Greg Way, it is Monday as we record this. It'll be Tuesday for everyone too cheap to pay for it on patreon.com/kindafunny. Wednesday, we are throwing the first in-person KindaFunny meet and greet since 2019.
That's wild.
2019, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to Square Pie Guys, and we are welcoming their new buffalo chicken pizza that is the KindaFunny pizza. It is a fundraiser for our Extra Life Marathon. Of course, you can go on over to kindafunny.com/SPG party. There you can buy your ticket. All proceeds from the tickets are going into our Extra Life campaign. Of course, you can then you go there, buy the pizza, yada, yada, yada. Hang out with us. That's the more important thing. Get photos. Say, hey, are you coming?
I think I am, yeah.
Get photos with me and Nick because we're the most important people. Of course, your ticket also comes as a raffle ticket when you get entered. And let me tell you, we have fabulous prizes.
Give me one of the what's one of the prizes?
So I can give you our bullshit if you want.
Yeah.
Which is I have a whole bunch of press packs for like Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, Minico's Night Market. I have this giant Diablo thing that's been on my desk forever. I got disc-based games for some reason.
Sick.
I got Spider-Man 2 if you want that in a steelbook.
Yeah.
I got digital codes for a gajillion games. But then Square Pie Guys themselves are giving away a bunch of pizza ovens. Like the super nice pizza oven, you go in your backyard and you're doing the thing, and you got
that.
real deal,
that.
real
That's
deal.
great.
It's gonna be fun.
Very cool.
Of course, like I said, this is a ticketed event, so you have to go to kindafunny.com/SPG party to be part of the madness, and then of course get ready for us to do our Extra Life next week. We're doing a Friday stream, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Is something crazy happening? Yes. Will you hear about it soon? Yes. I think Wednesday there's an announcement about our Extra Life stream. It's going to be a ridiculous week next week.
Yeah.
But I digress. For now, I'll tell you, of course, about this Kinda Funny Halloween shirt. KindaFunny.com/store. I forgot I was tethered. You can go to KindaFunny.com/store and get it right now. And it'll look as good as on you as it does on me. Probably better, honestly, because you're not as lumpy. But I like this shirt a lot.
I like it a lot, too. The last two shirt drops we have done, I think, are some of my favorites. The Jabronis drop was great. If you missed out on that one, unfortunate for you. But I got a couple of them. And then, of course, this Halloween shirt is it's pretty rad. It's very, very rad. I think, did Campfire do this one?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
But he made it look like Cool Greg could have done it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, I said, is that a Cool Greg shirt? Like, no.
Like, Cool Greg's wearing a shirt today that's like cool and kind of ironical. And I'm like, yeah, that would fit right in with his wardrobe.
Yeah.
But definitely go check that out. It's a good one.
Jacob says, to my reference of it's going to be a crazy week and a 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. stream on Friday for Extra Life, November 2nd, right?
Sure.
3rd,
That
whatever.
sounds right.
Is going to be, it says, is it the live vasectomy stream? It is not. You will know about that.
I feel like, not to Tim Geddes this,
Sure.
but I feel like this needs to be like a big deal when we get these vasectomies
Yeah.
together. And I don't know what Patreon perk there needs to be to watch this thing live, but
Sure.
it's got to be like up there.
Here's my thing. I don't mind. Of course, we're kind of funny. We want to pay it forward. So the vasectomy video has to go up for everybody. I like the idea of live streaming it to the Patreon audience like we are right
Sure.
now for patreon.com/kindafunny, people in the Chalk chat. However, I'm not against putting on the patreon.com/kindafunny 2 slots. And
For people to come.
they come and they
They
snip
come
it. They're the one who snip it like an umbilical cord. You know what I mean? Do you want Greg or do you want Nick? There you go. Mazel tov. You know?
Oh my God, that's so funny. I neutered Greg Miller. We could sell that shirt.
Oh my
That'd
God,
be
right? I
incredible.
neutered Greg Miller and all I got was this shirt.
All I got
and
was
on the
this
back,
shirt.
it's like, no, they made me pay for it.
Yeah, they paid
no,
a lot of money.
I had to pay for this
And I
shirt.
did this.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm always willing to pay it forward to people
My
who support us. Like our
God.
Patreon producers, James Hastings, Jedi Master Deadpool, Casey Andrew, and Nathan Lamoth. Today we're brought to you by BetterHelp, but we'll talk about that later. For now, Nicholas, are you ready for something different?
I'm definitely ready.
I can't remember last time we did a one-on-one podcast.
I don't think we ever have.
When we do one-on-one podcast as a kind of funny, usually it's something serious.
Yeah.
Like when I came back from, Jen's mom passing, I did a one-on-one with Tim because
Yeah.
I need to talk to somebody.
Very poignant.
There's been a
episode.
few other things about this. This one's just, for shits and gigs.
That's what I like about us. Because you get the variety here with the podcast.
Yeah.
You get the serious topics with you and Tim. You guys are usually the serious boys together,
Yeah.
whether it be a video game show or on this podcast. But I enjoy podcasting with you because it gets silly. And that's what I look forward to, especially on a Monday after a long ass
Dude,
weekend.
it's the weekend is over. You're back here. You got to hang out with all these schlubs. Roger. Although, you were live. I'm joking around. I love everybody.
Of course,
I'm
we all-
always excited. We're gonna
I love Roger too, but I'm going to talk.
I have never
I know I'm gonna talk shit about
seen
him in this
two
podcast.
human beings hang on every word more than myself and Roger when Kevin was out there trying the new burrito place.
Oh, really?
The new burrito truck. Kevin got one from today
It's
and sat down.
important.
And I was playing a game for review. I took my headphones off and turned and looked at him for a bite-by-bite analysis. So did Raj.
I mean, it was just funny because you don't even go to that thing.
I did. No, I used
Did
to.
you?
I eventually remember when we moved in, there was a heart-to-heart Greg had with himself where In and Out can only be once a week.
Once a week.
And the
can't be
burrito
Snow
truck,
White,
I was
yeah.
like, I can only do this once a week. And then I started like fibbing it, or it's like I'm doing it on Thursday, but I'm also doing it on Monday.
Yeah.
It's like, that's different weeks, but whatever. And so eventually, though, it was like, I had to stop. Not because I hadn't even eaten myself to being sick of them.
Yeah.
I was just like, I am eating too many burritos.
It's tough. You literally start feeling weighed down as you're walking through the week.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you though, because you have the ability now to self-correct, and you bring in the broccoli, you bring in the chicken,
Yeah.
you bring in that nice homemade dish that's
You know what I
not
do.
full of cream cheese or sour cream and cheese and all that stuff. No disrespect to the taco truck, but I'm glad we have a new one. It is nice when you're running back-to-back shows. You got 15 minutes. You want to just go grab something real quick that's out there, which is great. But I've actually been trying to make a concerted push to like eat more vegetables and greens while I'm here.
Yeah.
Because it sets the tone. This lunch sets the tone. Like the Monday lunch sets the tone for the rest of my week.
I always feel like the lunch here is my one real opportunity to manifest destiny. What am I eating here? Because like here, I'm just when I get home, if Jen's like, "Oh man, it's been a rough day. I want pizza." I'm like, "Yeah, let's do pizza." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, "I want to make something. Let's make something." You already want to go out? Sure, let's go out. So it's like, I mean, that's a couple's activity. I'm not saying like it's a bad thing.
Sure.
I'm just saying here's like, dinner's the wild card. I don't know what will happen tonight.
That's
like we
exciting.
buy a bunch of stuff over the weekend. Jen buys throughout the week to make sure we have stuff. One of us will cook, yada yada yada. But still, it could easily be that you come home and it's the audible.
Right.
Pick something up on the way, do this thing, we're DoorDash and whatever. Whereas here, I know if I just lock in and I do the salad, I do the chicken or whatever, then I'm set and I can eat bad tonight and not feel like, oh man, I've eaten garbage every day
Yeah. Smart.
or every meal, I guess.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And that's when I lost the ground with breakfast too, because of Ben now. You know what I mean? Whereas like back in the day, you remember it was just me and yogurt. Just
Oh,
eating
I remember. I used yogurt. You'd be like, "This is my healthy bowl of yogurt."
Yep.
And you put granola on it, and then chocolate,
Nutella.
and some sort of Nutella, and then some sort of honey. I'm like,
Listen, I'm
I think you're eating ice cream right
again.
now.
It's better than what I would have been eating before.
What?
right?
What could have been better?
We're doing
breakfast
that. We're
burrito?
doing like I'm telling you. Yeah, sometimes I'll make a breakfast burrito. I'm making egg sandwiches. I'm taking we got the Costco membership, so I'm putting in the ham and cheese croissants in there and doing that thing.
Oh yeah.
But it's because I want to feed little Benny. You know what I mean?
Man,
Baby can't exist on yogurt alone.
I had the best opportunity ever to reset my entire life this morning,
Sure.
and I failed miserably.
Okay.
The Starbucks,
Oh no.
one of those Starbucks closures was
Yeah.
near my place. That was like the one I go to every morning,
Yeah.
and so because it was easy, because I would just like it's on the way to work basically, and there was like a little loading zone that I would just pull into on the mobile
Park
order.
illegally. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a loading zone, and I'm loading the coffee into my car, so that's how I figured I'd get around that.
Yeah.
But it closed, and I told Dee on Saturday. She goes, "I'm really worried about you because you really like your morning ritual. You like the
Yeah,
coffee.
yeah,
you
yeah,
like to
yeah,
get a little like a little Starbucks sandwich. I drink it and eat it on the way to work. Relax, listen to a podcast or whatever." And I'm like,
Stop you right there.
Sure.
Are you back on sandwiches for a while? You were so egg bites.
I was on the egg bites for a real long time,
Okay.
and then I don't know why I just went to the sandwiches.
I love a sandwich, but it's the same thing with carbs and everything else.
It's the thing.
And this is the thing too. I got from over at the Costco. I bought a bunch of the egg bites there that I can
the
I
sous vide?
toss it. Yeah, well, I don't know if they're
Are
sous
they
vide.
good?
Fucking, they're good.
Okay, maybe I'll try that. No, I mean, I should. I'm like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna make some eggs, no coffee, and then I'm gonna drink some water, go to work, and if I want a coffee by the time I get to work, I'll swing by that Starbucks over there and grab one. Right? Get in my car, and like not even before I got in my car, as I'm walking to the elevator, I'm like, nah, and I mobile ordered Starbucks, and then I had to like park all the way down the block and walk like 3 blocks up, and I'm like, this is not gonna do. It's not tenable. So I got to figure out the new plan. But man, certain portions of the city are just fucking crazy right now. So it's like it's tough to navigate all of that. But whatever, I'll figure it out. Where there's a will, there's a way.
And you have the will for Starbucks, and the way you'll find. How you doing? Give me the Nick Scarpino update. And I don't mean like into the minutia. I mean the top level. How we doing mentally? How we doing physically?
Physically, I could stand to lose a couple. Mentally, I'm still sort of like good, just a bit. It's always go with us.
Yeah.
The pace.
Yeah.
And then I've been doing a lot of comedy at night too, so that's kind of
Yeah, you burn both ends, which is tough.
Yeah, it's tough. So I have to really be aware of today's my night off. I'm saying no. I'm going home, hanging out with Dee, and then Wednesday probably after the meet and greet, I'll go home as well, and not do anything there. But I had a great weekend actually. I ended up doing some guest spots at Punchline, which was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Somebody there's a couple guys in the scene that film stuff for comics, and it's kind of a quid pro quo. It's like, hey, I'll film it for you, and then you let me do a couple guest sets, and I'll kick in on the clips. But that came down, like 3 people passed on it, and then someone got my name, and I was like, yeah, I'll come by and like turn on one of our 2 stupid little cameras for you.
Sure.
And then he's like, yeah, cool, I'll give you 7 minutes. And so walking into Punchline is the first time I've ever been on like the lineup sheet.
Whoa.
I was like, took a picture of it, you know? And then I was like, I don't want to post it because I don't want to this is how
you moment.
No, it wasn't even that. I was just like, I don't want to post this because I don't want whoever books this show to see my name and be like, what the fuck's he doing on that? And then call them and be like, dude, get him off that, get him off the guest set list. But it was cool. I walked in and everyone that works at Punchline is fucking awesome. The Cobbs and Punchline people are insane. They're so cool, and so fun, and they're so professional. And just walked in and they were like, hey, do you want anything to eat? Anything like that? And I was like, this is strange. Like, cool, you're doing 7 minutes. You want a 2-minute light or a 1-minute light? I was like, 2 minutes, please. Like, cool, no problem. And just treated so well the entire time. And it was just such a blast to like take the pressure off of the showcase that I go to every Sunday. And just be able to know that I'm going to perform and go on the stage and have fun with the audience. And then I was opening for Sandy Danto, who is a LA comic, and he was just a super nice guy. And he gave me some nice feedback and was very encouraging. So it was a really fun weekend.
Talk to me about that. You know, you do comedy not every night, but a lot of nights.
Probably 3 to 4 nights out of the week, yeah.
And so, like you're saying, like the punchline is you show up and hope you're going to get called up.
Show up to go up, yeah.
Yeah. The others are all practice and going through. And
the others are actually like booked gigs.
Okay.
So now I'm helping out my friend Abai and my friend Richard. They run a promotion called The Setup, which is probably the coolest promotion in San Francisco. And they have a really they have 2 clubs, or 2, I should say rooms. They call them rooms, right?
Sure.
Difference being a club is an actual established like brick and mortar place. A room is like, hey, we're running the show out of another, like a theater or another space or whatever, but it's not our room. We don't own the walls. So they run a place called the Speakeasy in the Palace Theater, and I'm there a lot now. And it's rad. It's like 80 people in a tiny little cellar room in the bottom of a speakeasy with craft cocktails.
Yeah.
Everyone's dressed and looks hot. And you get up there and you're like,
do you dress up for it too?
I mean, I dress nicer.
Okay. You're not doing this usually. I'm not insulting outfit, but this is what I see a lot on Instagram is you in a sweatshirt, maybe a jean jacket over.
I mean, I'll dress it up a little.
Okay.
You know, I'm still trying to say, I'm hip.
I like
cool.
when you have the collar shirt.
Yeah,
like
usually I'll go into something like that, or I'm dipping my toe back into Hawaiian shirts.
Oh,
yeah,
you wore a Dynamite shirt to Ben's birthday.
That's what it was. I was like, I got to wear this shirt more often.
Yeah.
But you got to find, you know how it goes. The button-up shirts are a mixed bag.
Yeah.
You find one you love, you button it up, you're like, that won't do. Because then the buttons start peeling up, or it's too short, and your underside of your belly starts getting cold.
Yeah.
So it's all that sort of jazz. But yeah, I'm trying to make a little bit more of an effort because I'm hosting a lot of these shows too. So I'm up on the stage a lot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. But yeah.
Back to where I was driving originally though. So when they say you have 7 minutes, do you know you're 7 minutes cold? Like you know exactly what you're putting, where you're putting, and when you talk to the audience?
Yeah, in theory. Yes, I do. And so when I get the light, I kind of know what my kind of closers are.
Gotcha.
And then we go from there. It's pretty easy. I mean, after a while, I've probably got 20 minutes of material right now. The idea is still I'm driving toward that 15-minute audition. So hopefully I'll get that in the next year. I'm not in any super hurry now because I'm actually just kind of enjoying where I'm at. But eventually it would be nice to get past there and become one of their regulars, which would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I put up on Twitter it was going to be a special 2-man podcast, 1-on-1, and so I needed your questions there. Brando, a.k.a. the Brando Coot, wrote in and said, what's it like carrying the comedic weight of the company on your backs? Also, how do you both manage to stay so humble?
It's tough being as incredible as we are.
Yeah.
And I think you learn early on that when you're us, it's sort of like it's like a speedboat cutting through the normies.
Sure.
You got to slow it down a little bit because you don't want to leave that much carnage in your wake.
The amount of times you and I have been on a podcast and then we have to do what we call the toe touch, where we touch each other's toes.
Yeah.
That's the signal that we are being far too funny.
Too funny.
It's that thing where Andy's over here looking like a caveman trying to smash some rocks together.
Yeah.
Tim looks like a corpse.
Yeah.
Nobody, it's like, slow it down here a second. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen Roger go in the bathroom and cry because it's just, he's literally like a junior high student trying to play with Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is out there. Exactly. Yeah. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't crush him that way.
Just ankle breaking. I love Roger. People always ask me, like, why do you talk? If you like Roger so much, why do you talk so much shit about him?
Sure.
And it's really just to, like, break him down and build him up. You know,
Sure.
make him tougher.
You know, I was watching a TikTok the other day where the kids showed up to basic training for the Marines.
Yeah.
And they're all screaming at him and throwing their phones and shit. I'm like, God, I fucking hate this stupid shit. I'm like, but I know the whole shtick. And I think that's why it wouldn't work for me, of course. I know the shtick is, break you down to nothing and build you up in their image. And we are in the middle of doing that to Roger.
Yeah.
And it's because we love him.
Halfway through his prom.
I mean, because that's the thing is like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be much worse. Like, you should be concerned the fact that we never talk about blessing. Because that means, of course... But Roger, we talk so much shit about because, man, this kid is great.
Roger, I came in the other day, and Roger looked at me, and he stepped to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you told me this the other day, that he's been doing this to you.
And I've never been...
It sounds like he's starting to... He's figuring it out.
He's figuring it out, right? He's testing the walls. He's trying to figure out where the structural integrity is weak. And it's cute. I mean, it had all of the intimidation factor of like a corgi running with a stick. You ever see the dog run with a stick that's too long and he tries to run through a door and he fucking slams the stick back into his own jaw? That's kind of how sad it was that he tried to intimidate me in that regard. But I give him kudos for attempting it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Good for you. You got knocked on your ass. Get back. Why do we fall?
Yep.
So that we can get back up and embarrass ourselves again.
If done right, no can defend.
Right.
Melissa Hagler tweeted as well as being in the chat because, of course, she's a super fan who married a goat. Haglers are parents. The topic: should our daughter Millie be a Millie goat for Halloween? Please advise.
Yeah,
1000%.
I think the whole family should go as goats. Right?
It makes less
Don't you
sense.
think?
I mean, here's the thing: is there has to be the remembering
now
the normies.
Stick with me. Stick with me. Cody goes as a goat. Melissa goes as a human. The kid goes half goat, half human.
See,
like
I understand. Yeah, no, I got it. No, I understand. I understand where your heart is at and your head is at with that one. But it is, again, I don't know if that translates, because there's a lot of explanation that needs to happen.
No. If he has a spot-on goat costume and she is just a normal, but you dress the kid, I don't know what color Melissa's hair is right now, but you dress the kid
blonde, I assume still.
Spot on blonde, right? Yeah. So it looks like the mom, but then the bottom half is the dad's goat body.
Yeah.
And the two parents are standing next to it. That is a fucking Christmas card right there.
See, again, though, I think it's just, I like the idea of iterating on what we've built here at KindaFunny, where, of course, we all know, and the Trogs all know, and the audience all know, Cody is a goat. Right. A few weeks ago, we talked about him trying to type out. He couldn't do it.
Incredible. I mean, clearly Melissa had to change his.
That means we get to this thing where, of course, I've changed their lives and brought them closer as a couple. So they name their daughter after me, Millie, for Miller. So then now you could do what you're talking about. But it's I would just go Millie Goat and then have them dress as farmers. Because, again, when you step outside of our bubble, it gets tough. Kevin, I sent to Assets a TikTok that I had posted on my Twitter. I love that TikTok does this, where you can download it and it keeps their information on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's cool.
Still promoting it or whatever.
That's right.
This is how normal people interpret shirtless Spider-Man. Can we play this?
Whip it up. Whip it for real.
The fuck am I looking at?
Spectacular Spider-Man. We're the subliminal Spider-Man.
Because our dazzling displays of daring
Yeah, dude, they think it's fucking porn.
Conscious mind.
Yo, what the fuck these niggas talking?
Whip it up.
Out of all the shirtless Spider-Man stuff and all these things and the excitement that surrounded launch of every journalist at the preview event sending me texts about it, people reviewing it and flipping out, sending texts, sending DMs, all these different things. And then, of course, just my Twitter feed to this day, being blown up with shirtless Spider-Man photos. It never even for a second stopped to think what a normal human being would think when they land on the water tower and find two shirtless guys being filmed with no context.
Yep.
And what I love is that Mike Poundro tweeted in response to that, really puts how authentically goddamn weird we all are in perspective, huh?
You start peeling back those layers, man. That is a fucking weird thing. That's strange.
And that's the thing. I don't want to do that to Millie on her first Halloween. Millie Goat is perfect. It's very funny. You guys dress as farmers. Let it go.
So someone in the chat said implied bestiality for Halloween? ?
Who's implying it? We already said he's a goat. You know what I mean?
You know, to each their own.
Yeah.
You want to have sex with a farm animal?
Movie where they had a goat with the goat.
Oh, that A24 movie.
Yeah,
I never watched it. It was like a sheep kid or something weird like that.
And
Yeah, I never
then
saw
the
it.
sheep dad shows up. He ain't having it.
Oh,
man.
really?
Oh, he ain't
Sheep dad
having it.
comes
He's like
on?
the devil. You know, to spoil.
Oh
like the
yeah, because
devil.
the eyes, the devil's eyes.
Devil. Lamb, says DJ Kento. Thank you so much.
Are you guys doing Ghostbusters for Halloween again?
Yeah.
What's the play?
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's that thing where I hope, of course, Ben will want to be a Ghostbuster the rest of his life. The problem is he won't be, and I can accept that. I love Halloween.
Different shit. He's gonna want to be whatever's big that year.
I love Halloween. I'll let my son be whatever he wants to be for Halloween, but he still doesn't fully grasp all the
He's
concepts
not getting
of it.
Yeah, he's not.
So it's like even now, if we were to ask him what's he want to be, he'll just grab whatever off the shelf. If like he's so into cars right now.
Yeah.
If he could wrap his head around that, he'd want to be Lightning McQueen for sure. But like, it's that thing where he doesn't. So I'd rather have the family costume another year. You know what I mean? Because again, it's so easy. Of like, I'm gonna put him in the wagon. We got one of those wagons, you know, for the farmers market. I'm gonna put logos on the side of that, maybe a little Ecto 1 license plate.
Awesome.
So I can drag him around that. Have a little speaker playing that. The Ghostbusters song. We're always a big hit in the neighborhood. You know?
People love you guys. Yeah,
Exactly.
I can tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meow.
Rig writes in and says, "What was both of your first impressions meeting each other's spouses? You met my spouse before I met her."
I did. Yeah, because we met her at Comic-Con, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jen's awesome. She was awesome then. She's awesome now. We got exclusive access to the zipline thing, and I think we got hammered. So
Yeah, you did.
it was pretty 10 out of 10 for me as far as that experience
Sure.
is concerned.
Sure.
When did you meet Dee?
Several times.
Yeah.
And I mean, every time was the same. Like, no.
Yeah, different woman.
What is the, like that we'll get to that. But it was just the fact of like, why is this adult hanging out with Nick?
Yeah, it's weird.
She is a person.
Yep.
She's an adult
fully
with a
formed.
capital A. She has a life.
Yep.
And then it was the fact that the first 3 or 4 times I met her, I was pretty sure you were hiring a different actress every time to show up because she looked radically different.
Yeah, she changes her hair color a lot.
Yeah.
To the point where sometimes I come home and I'm like, Dee? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We lucked out. We got good ones, and they all like each other, which is cool too. Everyone gets along, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always, it's always a worry in the back of the brain. It's like,
I mean, like,
is Dee gonna hate everyone?
Dude, my favorite turnaround, and I think we've talked about it in passing, me and Jen and Mike, but whatever, is that like Jen did not get Mike at first. And I mean like before, it was that thing of we had the inside track of having done the Patreon calls with Mike, so we knew Snow Mike. We knew it wasn't fake. We knew this is how he was, da-da-da-da-da. And Jen was the other thing of just like, he can't, who is this guy? Like, he can't be this positive. He can't be this thing. It's got to be an act, right? He's got to be hiding something, da-da-da-da. And now, of course, Uncle Mike is like her favorite.
She needs to meet his dad.
Big Mike.
I've
never met Big Mike. Yeah, when he came through
you
for
were
I was
here.
gone,
Yeah, Big Mike, he is exactly like his dad. You know how they sort of both have a conversational interview style?
Yeah.
Where when Mike's talking to you, even if it's just one-on-one, he's like, he has like we're on the couch style energy.
Yeah,
like we're
for
presenting
sure.
it to people. He gets that from his dad.
Ah.
His dad uses your name,
Okay.
which is intimidating.
What do you mean, like Nick or Nicholas or Nick Scarpino?
Greg, let me tell you.
Okay.
So Greg, what would you say we should have for lunch today, Greg?
Sure.
It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
bookending
makes me
with
go,
the name? Yeah, no.
I don't know, sir. Like it's a teacher thing, right?
Yeah.
So he does that. That's where Mike gets it from. And I've now Mike, we're so used to being around each other. He just calls me Slappy now.
Yeah.
Which is a term of endearment. I hope. I don't know. I haven't looked it up in the Urban Dictionary yet. For all I know, I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, Mike can be one that's very, very. He's a weird dude.
For Mike,
he's a weird dude.
I think when you don't know Mike, you might be waiting for the shoe to drop. Like, this got to be an act.
Like, is he
this gotta
screwing
be a
with me?
thing. Yeah.
No,
exactly,
that's just Mike,
That's Mike.
though.
That's
Yeah.
how he is, man.
It's like Blessing was like really, really nice.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
the opposite.
And then sometimes when I walk in, I go, "What's up, Bless?" And he goes, and I'm like, "You're not wearing headphones." And he's like, "I had headphones on. I hear you."
Yeah. He's always got headphones on here,
I
trying
know.
to do his work.
I forget,
trying to
honestly.
play his games.
He sneaks up on me sometimes because I'll come around the corner.
Yeah.
Because we don't see each other ever because our desks don't they're obscured.
Yeah.
And I'll look at him and he'll look at me and he'll give me that like, what was your name again?
Yeah.
Kind of and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
God
yeah.
damn it, Blessing. God
I was so
damn it."
happy. Yeah. What was it last week where we had 2 days in a row where you were just in such great spirits? Where you walked over, you're fucking with me and Bless talking about the roll door for no reason. And not like in a way of it had anything to do with the business, just fucking with us.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is nice.
Well, it's so lovely to have everyone in the office for once, and then of course now this week everyone's out for various different reasons, whatever. But yeah, no, I'm trying to make an effort to get over to that side. Maybe we should redo all the desks to just be one really long table.
Sure. That'd be something to do. Go to like, and do,
That'd be
like
something to do.
we could take like the Apple Store long table
Yeah,
and have all the stuff there.
yeah. We'd have to rearrange
Something to think
everything.
about.
It would be a massive pain in the ass now that I said that, but maybe.
Nicole Blooded See what she did there? I think her name's Nicole, but she did cold-blooded.
Sick.
If you were out on a little pal/buddy date, what dish would you order for each other?
Ooh.
I have the benefit of having read through these a little bit before.
Sure.
What immediately jumps to me would be getting you the Atkins style burger because I'm so used to you doing that everywhere we've ever gone.
Oh, yeah.
And granted, I'm thinking like when we were at IGN, so it was like going to Pete's and Pedro's and like fucking 21st Amendment or whatever, right? But you'd always do that where you'd get the burger with the lettuce bun rather
Burger,
than
no bun, lettuce
and then
wrap,
sit there with your knife
little
before
bacon
eat
and
it.
avocado.
And I'd always look at it and I'd always be like, damn, I should have done that. Whatever I was getting was this giant bready fucking mess.
Yeah,
like, no
well, it was
taste.
always, you remember back in the day when we used to go, like, we'd grab food on the way home before we do the podcast or whatever, or if like the four of us needed to meet, we'd always, and I'd be like, dude, this is going to be, it could be a long night with another meal at the end of it. So I always wanted to stay lean. Or I could be on camera after this and I don't want to like feel the way I feel like I look on the outside and the inside.
Yeah, when you're bloated. Yeah.
But you remember, like, that's the one thing, and I'll say, knock on wood, because hasn't come in here yet, but this year has been pretty okay with the holidays so far. And I don't want to say Beetlejuice so many times. We haven't any Halloween candy in the office.
Okay.
But you remember at IGN, it was always like, I'm just eating constantly.
Yeah.
I'm eating my face off. I used to share a desk with this guy that would bring these goddamn Cheez-Its in every single day. And they were sweet and spicy.
See,
and
now they're hot and spicy.
Hot and
and here's my thing is like, I feel like I've done well at, I eat more at the office, but I'm eating the stuff I've brought. So I'm having like my Fig Newtons, which I feel like are better than most things I could eat.
Sure.
The Cheez-Its I'm still eating, not daily, but a lot of, but I limit myself to the 2 snack bags. I bought the prepackaged ones.
Oh, smart.
From Costco, so I have them in the drawer, and it's like,
Smart.
that's all I have. Like, I'm just going to lock myself off there. And then, yeah, like, it's like today, what did I do? I had breakfast at home, then I had a muffin on the way in, then I did, I had chicken, rotisserie chicken, and then this quinoa broccoli salad I made.
See, that's so
yesterday.
great. That's so great for you.
Then I did the Cheez-Its and a Coke while I was treating myself.
Yeah, that's that.
I
mean, that's
that.
Well, that's the thing is, I'll never forget the first time I saw you prepare lunch for yourself. He does this thing. He has this beautiful like rotisserie chicken, and then this very healthy looking like kind of quinoa-y broccoli thing, and then right next to it is a napkin that has 3 Oreo cookies on it, just 3, not 2, not 4, 3, and it's just right there, and then like 1 Coke.
Yeah,
and I'm
I know the Coke probably didn't happen. The Coke's been a more recent thing.
Actually, I was gonna say,
I fell off the wagon because all you guys with these Cokes in here.
But you were never really a Coke drinker.
I'm not, but the problem is, this is legitimately the thing, is that from you and me at IGN with the box of hot and spicy Cheez-Its, the move would be I would have Cheez-Its and then want a Coke. And to this day, the snack is I have the Cheez-Its and I want a Coke so bad.
Oh my God, so badly. Because that salty and sweetness that just interacts with itself.
Yeah, but that's the only time I ever want
to keep in your little file cabinet?
Yeah,
Is that what
my bottom drawer. Because
I haven't seen these things around anymore.
Yeah.
Is it because last time I opened them up and left them open and they got stale and you got pissed at me?
No.
Remember, you got me giving
There's
shit.
a part of that, but it's not the entire part.
Okay.
It's just the fact that like I'm like, I need to be better about my money and my food budget, right? So it's like I buy the stuff and I don't want it just to go. If we put it in the drawers, or in the shelves, I do feel like that's up for grabs anybody territory.
I think the
So
shelf.
I have my bottom drawers, Cliff Bars, Fig Bars, and Cheez-Its.
Very smart, because here's why, and it's no disrespect to anyone in our office, but I feel like the cabinets is where food goes to die.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like we open it, it goes into the cabinet, and then I go, I'm hungry, and I'll pull something out, and you'll just see the look of it and go, that's not good anymore.
Well, I had I thought I had him dead to rights, Roger Picorni, right? I thought I had him dead to rights as being just a fucking child. But then he flipped it on me, and I'll tell you, I'll spoil it that it wasn't. He's like, I had nothing to do with it. But like when we had done the one of the streams we did, I don't know if it's when I was cooking something on the grill or whatever it was. It's when we were making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I was toasting them or something. There was something going.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I Instacarted lunch, which I think I got a rotisserie chicken and then I also got like peanut butter, jelly, and the bread, and I was making sandwiches for people, whatever. And then I made the move of leaving it out, and like if you, I assume somebody else is gonna want something, so make it for yourself.
I think I ate one of those. It had bacon in it, right?
I think that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
We were doing something.
It was a bacon peanut butter
some
and
reference
jelly
to
sandwich.
something.
Like
It was on somebody on the morning show. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Anyways, though, months go by, a month, 2 months, whatever, and I opened up the shelf, the cupboard, right, and the jelly was in there that had been opened and then just left in there. And I was like, oh no, you got to refrigerate this. And so I called Roger out on it because he had asked about my peanut butter jelly a long time ago. And he's like, that's where I found it. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, so this is something that somebody put away. And it's just like this thing of like, oh, that's interesting that happened and nobody walked that through.
I know we've got a lot of really good topics, and I do want to answer this question about what I buy
Sherlock's
you.
and people wrote in.
Fair enough. But we do need to get to the bottom of this condiment conundrum.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've seen it in many different ways. Oh, you can open the peanut butter, you put it back on the shelf. You can open the salsa, whatever. You can open the jelly, whatever.
Salsa can't put back.
Everything's got to be refrigerated, right?
Peanut butter doesn't.
Really?
Yeah, peanut butter stays out.
We're sure about this?
100%.
Because I've been eating that peanut butter in that drawer for like 6 months.
But nothing bad happens if you put it in the fridge, right?
I just feel like
It gets harder to spread.
Oh yeah, sure. But
yeah,
like,
but when you
not
scoop
a
it
lot
out
of
and shove
people-
it in your mouth like I do, it's
Yeah,
easier because you lick it like a dog.
Nick's probably eating it the most, like legitimately.
I mean,
right?
whatever you want to put it. I don't care.
But jelly, well, shouldn't jelly be able to stay out? It's a preserve.
Nah, jelly's got to be refrigerated.
It's all
It says
sugar.
refrigerate out on the side. Refrigerate after opening.
Salsa, refrigerate, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much everything but peanut butter. So why not just put peanut butter in
butter,
things so it's not being
peanut
left
butter,
out?
hot sauce.
Why not
I want
hot
to say
sauce?
soy sauce, right? Because there's
Why not
nothing in
soy
it.
sauce?
Soy sauce I could be wrong on. I think I'm wrong on soy
I
sauce.
just feel like everything's
bottle.
perishable at a certain point, right? Honey, people are saying. You
Well,
don't
yeah,
have to do
honey. Remember, this is the whole thing. Oh,
Pure
they
sugar.
found it in the Egyptian pyramids, and you could eat it still.
Did they?
Yeah,
They did.
It crystallizes. You have to put it like in hot water to get it
Oh, that's
liquefied again, but it's there. Yeah, yeah.
Watch the David Beckham documentary on
Yeah,
Netflix.
a lot of people have been talking about this.
Really, really good. Starts off with him at his like farmhouse in England.
Yeah.
Walking over to his bees. He's got bees. He keeps bees. And I was like, what a nice life. You keep these bees. And you used to be like a world famous soccer player, and now you still are. It's pretty cool. I want that for us.
Jen wants bees real bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
She
the-
wants bees. She wants chickens. She just wants to eat chicken. She wants an outdoor pot, or she wants a pottery like wheel and stuff, and like a kiln. Like eventually, this is like 3 kind of funnies from now. When we flip this one, we flip the next one, we flip the
Sure.
Because ain't nobody got money for this kind of stuff.
No, God.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
need space for that stuff too.
Also
you
true.
want bees? You can't keep that shit by the house. You gotta be like that guy's
Sure.
out in the forest somewhere.
Sure.
Millie, you know I got a bee guy, right? My brother-in-law is a bee guy.
I didn't know he's a bee guy.
Oh yeah, he's a bee guy.
I think like there's a lot of bee people. One of our neighbors does have bees.
Sure. Yeah.
She's like the grandma of the neighbor. She's got bees. And then I got people back in
I would
Illinois
be
that
so
got bees.
fucking mad if I lived next to her. I don't like bees.
But her thing is keeping them in there, and then they're just pollinating the thing.
Yeah, but eventually a couple of them stray over to your yard, and you're like, I'm trying to have coffee, and these bees are annoying
Bro, it's
me.
the yellow jackets. They're the ones you're thinking of. You got a lot of bee. Here's the thing. You got the honeybee. The honeybee, one of the coolest motherfuckers around. Just keeping the world going, keeping the food chain going.
Pollinate.
And then you got all these ones that like to come in and ruin the bees' like attitude and like ruin their reputation. It'd be akin to people buying kind of funny merch and then wearing it out and doing crimes. Like that's what's happening. You got these things that you look at, you're like, oh, that's a wasp. Oh, it's a yellow jacket. Oh, it's this. And like they're but they're horrible. Just horrible little men.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's the only thing that's ever stung me before. No, I've been stung. Oh, Jesus Christ. That thing just scared the shit out of me. And
Yeah.
you're over there.
Yeah.
God bless her.
We went out for like 3 minutes today to do a test for something we're doing coming up, and so we just left the empty set, no sound, and I army crawled in and brought her up and then put her down, walked away. Chat had a big
terrifying.
flip out about it. It was
That's
fun.
terrifying.
It's fun.
I would buy you probably, if we were out for a meal, an IPA.
Thank you.
Because you love IPAs.
God, I could go for an IPA right now.
And then, I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, guys, you usually just get chicken and like broccoli and vegetables and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
So I'd give you a couple beers.
I do
and
some wings
go
probably.
yeah, wings. I guess that's
I
probably.
mean, where are we
that's probably the
at
play.
too? That's the
I'm
thing.
thinking 21st Amendment. Yeah, you probably
God,
you probably get the
21st.
wings there.
They redesigned it.
Did they?
They're in the middle of doing a little refurbishment.
I'm shocked that place is still alive. I'm
Me
shocked
too.
anything in Soma is still alive.
Dude, me too. I was shocked that was still going. But like ballpark. But even then, it's like that's only so many months of the year while there's stuff happening down there.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
crazy to me. But like all those areas I think are still populated, which is crazy. So when we went to the ball game, I was mystified that the Townsend area where IGN used to be it still looks like there's people working down there, which is wild. Because most of Soma is like a ghost town at this point. And a lot of Van Ness and all of Market and all of Van Ness at this point, the 2 main thoroughfares are just gone. So it's kind of crazy to me. Like you push through all that, and then you get to this like oasis of prosperity down by the ballpark, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can make it keep working.
I imagine they will. I imagine we've seen the worst of it. I think closures will still continue to happen, but I think that whole area is propped up by the ballpark, and I think that you're always going to have diehard Giants fans that are going to be around and kind of want.
Sure, but again, my thing is, there used to be that sports bar, Pete, and the other one, Pedro's there.
Yeah.
That were owned by the same people, and they're gone.
Yeah, those were. I mean, that one went like in 2015 though. Didn't want.
it? No.
Yeah, Pedro's
Really?
went
Oh, I
like way.
fucking don't know. I don't know the hell I'm
I think
talking
because remember that was that one time we're like we're going to go back to IGN for a thing, and we tried to go to.
They're like, get the fuck out of here. We're not letting you in.
No, they hired us. Remember when we went to try to go Guapo? Hola Guapo. What's that lady's name?
Victor's.
Victor's. We used to
thank
walk
you.
into a place called Victor's, and the lady would always go, "Hola Guapo." She would call us all pretty, and I was like, I just love this woman. That went.
Yeah.
And then Pedro's. I think Pedro's
Oh
went
shit,
before
that
that.
place went.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
place
it's
has been going a
gone
long
now.
time. Yeah, you're right though.
Yeah.
I do think I remember Pedro's
Yeah.
Pete's going well. This is one of the things I was thinking about with the burger too, and it's an old story we've told on the podcast before. But the burger place down there, Umami Burger or whatever, where you got in a fight with a guy and wouldn't come back.
Crazy. That place is not here anymore. Fucking telling people what they should and you can and cannot have at their restaurant. I was like, have you ever heard the fucking customer's always right?
Yeah.
I was like, can I get avocado on that? Sir, we don't put any ingredients. We don't take any on or put any off unless you have an allergy. I was like, well, then I have an allergy to not fucking having avocado on my hamburger. Can you make that for me?
Yeah.
That's so
Look at
mad.
that, you're still fired up about it, you know?
Fuck, I mean, look, there's a lot of shit going. San Francisco is going through a lot of shit right now. But the one thing I will say is that the service industry is very, very, very like accommodating now because of all the shit we've gone through in the pandemic. Pre-pandemic, 2019, 2018 service, they couldn't give a shit that they're like, you're putting me out by sitting at my table here in San Francisco. For some of the restaurants, most of the restaurants are great. It's when I get to that reality where I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like, come on, give me a break. You're not training me on how to eat my food here. I'm a 43-year-old adult, for Christ's sake, soon to be 44.
Speaking of, Glenn Kammerling writes in and says, as two members of the 40 and older club, do you ever look back and think about all the stuff you've seen and experienced over so many years?
No, but I looked back the other day because I was looking through some assets for some other stuff we're doing next week.
Yeah.
And I found pictures of us from like literally 4 years ago when we had done those like Ghostbusters stills for the Patreon.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I look good back then.
You look good now.
And I've got about 10 on me that I need to,
cut out.
Ozempic off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I don't know what I was doing back there. I think I was just training jiu-jitsu a lot more and probably not doing comedy because that's starting to
Having a cocktail every other night.
well, a little bourbon on a Friday night, a Saturday night when you're done with your sets.
Yeah.
Take the edge off a little bit, relax. I was in a green room on Thursday or Friday night. No, Saturday night. Because one of my buddies is leaving for LA and we just started pouring. And I was like, well, fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sunday came in. I was like a little bit slower than I needed to be.
Yeah.
But,
it's never fun.
yeah.
Okay. I think back, but I mean, not like. Do you think about the stuff you've seen and experienced? Rarely. Like you were talking about at the top of the show, right? Like we're moving so fast, doing so much. It's so rare you get the chance to stop and think about any of the stuff we've done or what we're blah blah blah, where you've been and what's going on.
I was talking to a buddy of mine last night, and he was like, "You guys did the Regency, right?" I was like, "Yeah, like 3 times."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Wow, what was that like?" I was like, "It's really cool." And then we did a prom afterward, and then I was like, and then the pandemic hit, so.
Yeah.
But he was like, "Wow, that's a pretty big venue to like sell out." And I was like, "Yeah, ish."
Yeah.
Sold it out ish.
Yeah,
but
we did fine.
We did fine, but that was fun. But I don't know. I look back on a lot of stuff that we do, and I'm very proud of what we did, and I'm very thankful that we got the opportunity to do it. But I really enjoy looking forward. I enjoy doing what we're doing now, and like, what are we working on next? What's coming next? Because to me, I just never want to feel like I'm living the same day over and over again.
Yeah.
And that can start to happen when we're in the grind, the production grind of what we're doing right now, So that's why it's super fun to be thinking like, oh, what is 2024 going to look like for us? What are we going to be doing? Who knows? And then one day Tim will tell us.
Ladies and gentlemen, where are we going in the future? Well, it all comes down to your support. You can head over to patreon.com/kindafunny. On patreon.com/kindafunny, of course, you could be live in the chat right now, like Goaty Hagler is, like Cooper is, like Lemon Bendy are. If you're in the chat live, keep asking us questions and keeping the conversation going. Of course, on patreon.com/kindafunny, you can get each and every episode ad-free. You can watch us record all the podcasts ad-free. You can listen to all the podcasts later ad-free, MP3, video. You can get more than 300 bonus episodes of content, almost 400 now, like KindaFunny, Greg Way, and oh so much more. But I digress. Right now, you're not on patreon.com/kindafunny. So here's a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Do you ever feel like your brain is getting in its own way? I can't even count the amount of nights I lose sleep just because I can't stop thinking and my brain just won't stop talking. It turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk through them. Therapy gives you a great place to do that so you can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. And it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. You can make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/KindaFunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/KindaFunny. BetterHelp.com/KindaFunny.
So you said something there right before the ad break that resonated with me. Tim Geddes.
TG.
You ever think about this kid?
I think about him a lot. I spend a lot of my brain capacity worrying about Tim.
There was a time where he was like your intern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where he got hired on and was this little kid and he didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew what he was doing, but he didn't know what IGN was. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But it's like, there was that thing where, and I remember you mentoring him and giving him just terrible advice all the time.
Yeah,
and then he knew a YouTube, so he came and we did VidCon,
Yeah.
and then he said you and him would help fucking shoot the show, and then for me and teach me how to edit in Premiere, and then and here we are.
Yeah.
You know, a decade plus later.
I think it was a lesson. Like, here's my lesson learned with Tim. It's just like, man, when someone's really passionate about something and really knowledgeable about it, like, don't fight it, go with it.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
why I look for that same thing even in comedy. Like, there's a lot of guys that are 10 years my junior who are crushing it. And I'm like, teach me.
Yeah.
I have no ego about that. You're
yeah.
fucking hilarious. You're young. You're awesome. You're fun. You're full of vitality. Like, how do I do what you're doing? How do I get past? How do I do these things? And like, I think there's some people that would have some level of, you know, insecurity about that. And sometimes maybe I do. But for the most part, I'm just like, man, you got to just go have fun.
Yeah.
And that's what was cool about Tim is he was like, oh, let's do this cool shoot. And I'm like, all right, let's make this happen for you. That sounds fun. It's exactly what I want to do. I want someone motivated to figure out what it's going to be, and then I'll step in and I'll help direct the damn thing, and it'll be fun. Thanks, Cool G.
Hell yeah, Cool G.
You want some recap juice?
No.
You want
Oh
a cup?
yeah, if we got a beer floating around the place, I'll take a beer, Cool G. But if we don't do anything crazy.
Cool G's got you.
I know Cool G's got me, but I that's the problem is I know Cool G's got me to a fault. Where I was like, man, I
No
could
run
really
across
go
that.
for a cerveza from Mexico. This kid's driving down
he's
to the
like,
border to get me
Kevin,
a
let me
beer
get
from
your keys.
Mexico.
Exactly.
No need to bust your ass for it. It's fine. I can keep doing my water.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird,
But I think about it, it's like, because, it's just weird to go from, even with you, I guess, being strangers or being acquaintances. That, you know what I mean? Because there was the thing of
we were work acquaintances for a very long time.
Exactly.
Right until start, really.
We would run up into each other occasionally at a party or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'd have those crossovers. I have those great pictures of you and Damon oiling each other up at that Halloween party. Right?
Yeah, it was Craig Baird on.
Yeah, where and that would be those things where there would be like the crossover events where the comics crossed over. But I mean, especially like even then, I felt like I knew more about you at that point. Like I'll never forget some UFC event when you were just torturing Amy Doe. Just giving her the hardest time when she was trying to shoot something. You're just like, you were hazing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The same way we're talking about Roger.
What did I do to her?
You were just breaking her down.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
She's like, and it was the same thing as, shut up, Nick. Let me shoot this fucking thing.
Yeah.
But it's that idea of like, like for Tim to go from being like, oh, the new kid that we hired, blah, 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 to being the guy who's like, make sure the company, one main pillar of the company runs all the time, right? Like,
It's pretty crazy.
Insane.
It's just crazy to see. I mean, it's been, obviously rad to work with him over the years and build this stuff with you guys. But I don't know, man. I think about the future a lot, and I don't know what our future is going to look like, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see kind of where everyone's going to fit, how this thing is going to keep going forward.
Yeah.
Because I really don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, like hopefully it keeps going and keeps growing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like when you work at IGN, you kind of go, okay, I kind of see where if I stay here.
Yeah,
I know where the next 10 years of my life are going to look like, right?
Not as even an insult, and I don't mean it that at all. But you're a cog in a machine. Like the machine of IGN rolls on, and when someone like us leaves, you move that cog out and you put a new cog in. And they figure it out. Yeah, and the new cogs have to figure it out, but they'll get there.
For this, it's been so weird because I'm like, well, I can do this, and then potentially go do comedy at night, and maybe that becomes if I can enjoy some success in that potential, like that could help aid the company and push that, and maybe that's a new role for me later. I don't know. Maybe I'm gone weekends, and then I'm coming back here and streaming all day, and I'm like, that's kind of a fucking rad life.
Yeah.
If I get to just go tour Thursday, Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday, hang out with a lady, and then I'm here for the rest of the week. I could definitely do that. I don't know. It's interesting, exciting, and probably exhausting future to think about.
Oh, I mean, it's exhausting presence, but it's an exhausting in a good way. Whenever I come home exhausted, I feel like I've accomplished something. The really outrageous days you can plan for. Last week I had that thing where we had sponsored guests in that I interviewed all day, right? And when I knew I would be dead as a doornail when I got home, because it wasn't even just the work part of it of talking to the microphone. It was the back end production planning of it, and then also the dimension of being the host outside of the hosting the show, right? Like driving the content out there, describing what they want to do. Why does she do that sometimes? I don't think I said that sounded like it. A smartwatch. But yeah, I'm exhausted all the time, but it's a good exhaustion. I'd rather have that than be bored. I'd rather have that than be exhausted and not, control our destiny.
I'm definitely never bored. That's one thing.
100%. Sure.
That is one thing I can say. Looking back on the years, looking back on my interactions and just the, how all of this has come about, it definitely wasn't boring. And I'm definitely never at a point where I hit a Saturday night and go, what am I going to do? I feel like I earn my downtime.
Sure.
And being able to, it's going to sound crazy, I think, probably you guys, but being able to sit and play a video game is such a rare treat for me.
Sure.
That if I can just carve out 2 hours to play Cyberpunk tonight, that'd be pretty rad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of fun. I think that's probably where you want to be. I don't think you want to be at the point where you're well, I don't know what I'm going to do today.
Yeah.
Every one of my days is, I'm very fortunate that even over the weekend, I've got people texting me, hey, you want to come watch this fight? You want to come do this thing? And I have to, unfortunately, say no to people because I have to take a little time for myself, and watch something on Netflix or do something, just relax for a little bit. But yeah, it's cool. Fun.
I want to jump off something you said there, but I'll bring it to Rad, a.k.a. Daddy Sports, who wrote in on Twitter and says, does Nick ever feel like an outsider on the gaming side of Kinda Funny as an older gamer with different tastes/preferences?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, there's it's weird to be me in this company because I feel like there's two different companies.
Sure.
And I'm just simply not a part of the other version of it, aside from just helping out in the back end. But how is that any different than me working at IGN?
Hey, cool G.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always felt like an outsider there too.
But it's I hear you. And what I would say though is I feel like when you guys were the video team at IGN, people didn't expect you to know games and games industry stuff inside and out like we do, right?
Right.
There was so many video team people and so many games people, it doesn't matter, right? Whereas here, just being 11 people, not only it's weird that the question there and how you phrase your answer, right, is the stream team is such a big part of Kinda Funny games and the presence of Kinda Funny games, right? But even when me and Blessing have our meetings and talk about the shows and we talk about the stream team, that feels like another silo unto itself, where there's Kinda Funny, there's stream team and Kinda Funny games.
Yeah, I think that's because there's not a divide, but there is
Immediately threw beer on my side.
Hell yeah, brother.
I get pulled over. How many of you had one Modelo, sir?
Sir. Oh, there you go. There's your first mistake. No, but it's weird. I think Andy said something the other day that was it kind of tripped me out a little bit. Because someone was like, how are you guys? I think it was when we were doing either Spider-Man 2 or Mario. I think it might have been a Spider-Man 2. He was like, how are you guys? Someone said, how are you streaming
this is the big thing. So we finally got the ability to co-stream to TikTok. Yeah. And this was strictly a technical holdup on why we weren't doing it earlier. And it was exactly what Andy says he gets on his channel all the time, where,
Isn't it because, Roger couldn't log into the account or something stupid
it's not. That makes it sound like it's Roger's fault. It was completely TikTok's fault and then a really bad TikTok backend. But thank you to our TikTok contact who helped us make it work. But it was what Andy had predicted happens on his streams, where people pop up, how are you playing this game early? And
Andy was like, we're games journalists. And we're streaming this, and I was like,
and you had a Spider-Man mask on. You're like, are we?
Well, that's the thing. That is the thing that we skate that line, and it's never difficult for me, but that is what makes me end up feeling more like an outsider when you guys do the games journalist stuff.
Yeah.
And it's no disrespect. I just don't have an interest in that.
Oh, sure.
I don't want to be that person to the audience. I want to be an entertainer. I want to be a comic. I want to be a goofball. This is the shit that I wanted to do. Mostly because we did that stuff for 10 years at IGN, and I was just like, that's cool. Been there, done that. I want to be goofy and silly and have people follow me because it's fun, and I want to entertain people and not necessarily have to worry too much about the minutia of when and if, what this game is and what it means to the greater world from a critical standpoint.
Yeah, no, I don't think that sounds insulting at all. I honestly, it's the same way I feel about movies. Where again, like it's crazy to me after starting this. I mean, and not even talking about a Game Over Greggy channel, but I mean starting this with you, Tim, Colin, right? Where it was this idea of we broke off and we're doing the thing and like everything, we touched everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
We had to touch everything, and the fact that there are just runs of shows that I never listened to or even know. I know that the Loki screencast is happening. I know Saw in review is happening, but I have no idea what the in jokes that are happening on it are, what references are coming out of it, and da. Where it's like I feel the inverse of what you're talking about a lot of times, where it's like I feel like I'm Kind of Funny Games.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel I know I do the Kind of Funny podcast, but even then it's like on this channel where you're watching the Kind of Funny podcast, right? There's so many pieces of content that are entertainment that just aren't my jam, right? I'm not that guy.
I get that.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I mean, this again another feather in Tim's cap of him being able to put together the Anthony Carbonis, the Sage Ryans, the people who can then come in and actually like propel the content forward. Because that was a come to Jesus moment that I had to have, or rather, I think maybe Tim had to have with me, where he was like, "Hey, like we have to strike that balance between like celebrating shows and being critical of shows." And I know that from my experience, I like to be critical of things. If I don't like something, I like to find the audience of people that are like, oh, we're looking for that level of criticism. I.e., like that's. But I kind of
you want to do like hardcore film criticism and narrative.
Yeah, not hardcore film criticism, but I don't necessarily want to celebrate something just for the sake of celebrating something because it is a brand that I identify with. Like I think that there's merit in, and not to say that the guys don't do that because I know they're critical of some of the Star Wars shows, stuff like that. But like I have a tendency to be like, if I don't like something, I'll hijack the podcast. And I do think that there's sometimes people go, hey dude, we're just like, we like this thing. We know these people kind of like this thing.
Yeah.
Like there is merit to being like, why don't you just let us celebrate this thing and maybe you don't rail on fucking Last Jedi for the 300th time.
Somebody's got to.
I mean, do we have to? I don't think we have to anymore.
I think it's history. And
I think
that was a good one.
If I'm being 100%
that was the second
honest,
one in the,
yeah. I think Star Wars has railed on itself enough over the last 2 years. I tried watching Andor again. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. It's fucking.
Nick, it gets good 4 episodes in.
Bro, Andor changes the game. Everyone's like, changes the game. Changes the game, Nick. I watched the first episode. I was like, I don't know if this changes the game.
Shit.
People are like, keep watching. You're going to love it. Second episode, Diego Luna. Just all these 5 minutes straight walking around in the volume.
Did he bump into anything?
No, he didn't bump into anyone. He didn't talk to anyone. You know why? Because they don't have any fucking money. They don't have anyone else on the set. It's just him and the volume. I'm like, what are we doing? This is a 30-minute show. 15 minutes of it is him just walking down the street.
Do you wish?
By the way, I walk in today and Roger goes, dude, I started watching Strange New Worlds. That show fucking rocks. I was like, yeah, you know why? Because in the first fucking second, something happens in the show. And then every scene in that show has a purpose.
Remember, I love Discovery.
Discovery's
but again, this is kind of where I'm taking our conversation in general because I did a little bit of season 2 but fell off, and there's just like that was long before Ben, so we can't even chalk that up to being a parent. But it's just like the oversaturation of content, which I don't think is a bad thing. I'm glad that everything's there for everybody, but I feel like there was a time before when you could actually go, what is going on? Where you could actually go and like consume the major stuff. So like what I want to ask you was, do you think getting more Star Wars for you you were a huge Star Wars fan, correct?
I was a huge Star Wars fan.
Exactly.
Yes.
Do you think it was kind of a monkey paw situation where like there was so much excitement? I remember you tearing up. I think maybe even shedding a tear during Force Awakens trailer.
Yeah, when he said Chewie, we're home, I was like,
yeah, I remember you guys doing reacts, I think, from the Spare Bedroom for that. And like, I remember it being like a huge moment, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, this is so invigorating and cool. And now it's just like, there's like so much stuff.
I mean, the same could be said for Marvel, the same could be said for video games. Of course, the same could be said for every property out there, right?
Bring video games into this.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like you get excited about things you get excited about, and I don't want to sit here and poo-poo things that people really enjoy. But yeah, Star Wars, I just think Disney on the streaming side has a lot of ground to make up for, and I think there's a lot of great shows out there like Strange New Worlds that are taking those properties and like updating them, and still keeping some of the DNA alive. And obviously, it's easier for Star Trek to do that because predominantly it's been a television show, so having it just be a streaming television show is not that hard. But you just look at the level of storytelling and craft that's going into that, and I'm just not seeing it translating over to the Marvel shows or the Star Wars shows. I'm just not seeing it, right? Sure. They just feel.
Did you even try Ahsoka?
I watched the first episode, and I was like,
I haven't tried it. But it's that thing where it's like again, like TikTok does such a great job of recapping me on cool things.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, this all seems cool. And as someone who's such a casual Star Wars fan, I don't think I need to go watch all of it. I liked seeing this moment.
Yeah, I just think it's none of it. That's the problem, right? Is none of it's need to watch.
Mm-hmm.
All of it's just entertainment for if you want it, and that's totally fine. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there used to be things that were sacrosanct. There used to be like the Star Wars is not even must see. Star Wars was just a fucking cultural moment every time when a Star Wars movie came out, and unfortunately, it's just not that anymore. I couldn't be less excited for the quote unquote new Skywalker or the Rey Skywalker trilogy that's supposed to be happening. I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it, and B, it's like I just know what it's gonna be. There's no way they're gonna try to expand that out beyond another emperor, another empire, another rebellion, another thing like that. It's like they've pigeonholed themselves so badly into that sort of format and formulaic aspect of Star Wars, and that's why I just think it's like just watch Star Trek. They can do whatever the fuck they want in Star Trek because no one's superpowered and they don't have Jedi, and it's just like whatever. It's good. It's all politics and all moral.
I think the fact that it was always, even though it was Kirk's show, right, and Spock, but there was always an ensemble cast.
But it wasn't. It was an ensemble cast, and yes, Kirk was the lead. Kirk is what you think of, but every episode had to do with someone's. There was always like
planet or race.
It was Spock doing this thing, and like for instance, like Spock, Spock being half human and a half Vulcan was always interesting. He always had a story that it was like, low key, thematic or the theme was just like racism, right?
Yeah.
Like the Vulcans hate the humans. They're very racist against humans. And so they were always able to explore those sort of really intense issues, but wrap it in this wrapping of Star Trek. And I just feel like Star Wars is never going to be able to do that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No.
Yeah. I think Star Wars is always going to be surface level action adventure kind of show, and I'm sure people are like fucking pounding on their keyboards like watch Ahsoka, watch this, but I just can't. I sit there to watch it and my brain just goes, this feels like it feels like this, right? A half empty can of soda that's just been, it's just not, there's nothing there for me.
Have you started watching Loki yet?
No, season 1 of Loki was very, very fine.
Yeah.
But again, it just feels like when I watch these shows that I'm kind of wasting my time. It doesn't feel like there's any real importance to them in the grand world. And when you have so many different properties for Marvel, you need to make all of them count, or else it's all just starts sounding like it's just noise. None of it matters. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
It's you need to feel like these things are to some degree real, or at least mattering for it to keep my attention. Otherwise, I'm like there's better shit out there.
I feel like that's the thing with me with it, right? Where I'm, we're in a bad place, obviously, when WandaVision launches, right? It's pandemic. It was just exciting to have new content. It was, waking up in the morning to watch it, to then react to it, to do the thing, right? But I feel like all of the Marvel stuff recently has done that run up to the edge of the diving board and then stop short of jumping. Where everything has been like, oh, well, WandaVision's doing this to lead into Multiverse of Madness, so it's really gonna. Oh, well, they're gonna show Kang, so this is gonna be this thing.
Right.
Well, this is happening in Miss Minutes, and it's all these things where it's like everybody's like, oh, maybe they still do pay off for Secret Wars or whatever. But it's like at this point, you've rimmed me so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We like
when
just
are you
let me
give me the
come already. You know what I mean? And so it's like, no, I'm not. I like Loki. I'm just Loki is so Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
It's happening. I see the people's reactions. Nobody's saying, "Oh my god, you got to see this." And like, I don't even know what that would be anymore if there was. I mean, I fucking Peter Parker showing up or whatever, sure. But like
something.
It's just like at this point, it's just like, all right, well, it's all there, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch it and it'll be fine. But I'm not like the more episodes come on, the more I'm like, fuck, I gotta watch all this stuff. And meanwhile, House of Usher, I'm watching on Netflix.
That's what everyone's talking about.
Edge of my fucking seat every time.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And
again, not even like the narrative, because in the beginning they tell you what's about going to happen or whatever. Yeah. But then just the performances, and like again, we're pivoting all over the place, I know. But like obviously Rahul's in that show, and we love Rahul and yada yada yada. Rahul fucking crushes it. Mark Hamill,
he was the best part of Midnight
crushes it. Pike from fucking the first Star Trek movie, from the one they rebooted with
Bruce Greenwood.
Sure. We know what I'm talking about when he comes and gets Kirk out of the bar and all that stuff.
The guy does Batman's voice a lot in the animation.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Bruce
Greenwood. Dude. That from Gerald's Game.
Yeah, he's a bad motherfucker.
Dude. Oh my God, is he awesome in this fucking show?
Good. He's got
it's that thing where I'm watching and it's like, this is what I'm talking about. Of like, this is awesome. This is riveting.
Oh.
Like it was that thing the other night where this is how you know it's good. Where Jen's like, we sat down on the couch and I was like, still want to play Diablo? And she's like, not really. I'd rather keep going with the show. I'm like, all right. She's like, what do you? I'm like, I will remote play Diablo up here. I want to play. I need to play. I need to play or whatever.
Get back into it.
And I was doing that thing where I'm like, drifting on. You know what I mean? I'm doing the thing when I'm watching the show, and then it was like, well, we got one left for tomorrow. I'm like, let's do it now. And I turned off Diablo and put it down just to finish the show.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, so fucking good. And I like, again, that's in quotes, I guess, annual thing from Mike Flanagan and crew, right? Of like them doing their horror show for Netflix or whatever. And it's just like, I wish that there was like that kind of must-see TV for Marvel.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
Superman.
I'm seeing a lot of interesting feedback in the live chat too, and people are saying, they're turning over to showrunners now for the Marvel shows.
Yeah, they made a big deal about that.
Obviously they were trying to get the streaming platform up. They were trying to keep these properties going when there's a massive pandemic and all sorts. I mean, now they're dealing with the strike and all that. In situations probably not going to be easy coming back from as well. But so I'm hopeful. But at the same time, and also someone said, "How does Nick have not like the Star Wars shows? He loves Suits." To be fair, I fully recognize Suits not a good show, right? Suits fits into that category for me of like, I need a show that's dumb that turns my brain off at night.
No
that
stakes.
There's no fucking stakes. I don't care. It's dumb. It's a guilty pleasure show. But I hold Star Wars and Marvel shows to a slightly higher standard, candidly, right? I want them to be on the same level as the House of Ushers, as what was the one with the Watchmen, right?
Oh yeah.
I want the Watchmen HBO show. Like you watch that, you're like, why? Succession, which I of course railed against. I did not love, but I recognize that's a great show.
Okay.
I just couldn't. Too much anxiety when I watch it.
Sure.
I don't like the characters. They're all assholes to each other. They're all mean.
Accurate.
For whatever reason, when I watch a show like that, I'm like, this makes me hate the world.
Okay.
I don't like, because everyone's like, oh, that's so funny. I was like, this is the fucking Murdochs. Like this really happens. Like it's happening.
Stick with House Usher then, because like it's a similar vibe, but they all get theirs.
Fair enough.
Revenge comes for all of them.
Yeah. Well, not that I want to see anyone die, but it's one of those things where like when you're in that area, I'm watching Sex Education on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite
right?
shows.
No,
It's done. I think it's falling under the Netflix sword, which is always like 3 and done.
And if I can just jump in real quick, because I think
it
Sex Education is a good show. I remember I watched first season. I liked it a lot. But to the Suits thing, like Jen, her dumb show is Grey's Anatomy. And every time I sit down next to her and I play a game next to her, and I'm like, oh, what did that doctor do? Oh, wait, catch like it's soap opera. It's Nashville. And I'm just like, this is so much fun.
Suits is a soap opera about lawyers in New York. That's all it is. And everyone needs that level of show where you're sitting there, but you're really just shopping on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dumb turn your brain off. And again, it's no disrespect to the people that make Suits, and I'm sure it's coming back now because it was so popular. But that's in a different category of the 3-tiered Nick way of looking at things, right? There's good, bad, and bad, right? Suits is in good, bad.
Yeah.
No one's gonna watch that show and be like, wait a minute, you're gonna tell me the premise of the show?
I love when you rub your face.
The premise of the show.
Laurel, you're gonna tell me the arrow came down here?
Laurel, you're gonna tell me that this guy's been faking being a lawyer for like 3 years in New York? This guy gets written up in the fucking New York Post, not Washington Post. What's the big in the newspaper for like all of these amazing things that he does, and he never gets caught. It's like it's a completely stupid, fucking dumb soap opera. It's just a reason to have drama and turn your brain off. But there is actually really great TV out there, and I would urge people to go watch it. House of Usher sounds like it's great. Sex Education's great. What do we just? Oh, Billions. Unfortunately, it's not great anymore. Billions took a nosedive, and I just can't. I'm like, I need.
But was it ever good?
The first like 2 to 3 seasons of Billions. That was the other problem, right? Is because Billions and Succession started happening at the same time, and for whatever reason, I like to pick sides. I was like, I'm a Billions guy.
Sure.
I'm a Billions.
You went
guy.
Betamax in this argument.
Oh my god, I went Betamax so hard. Because Billions was great. The first couple seasons of it, you're like, oh my god. Like, have you watched any of it at all?
No, I don't even know what it's about.
Basic concept is Sam Giamatti plays the Attorney General for New York.
Okay.
And I forget, Damian Lewis, I think is the guy's name. He's a British actor, plays in a lot of American roles. He was in Band of Brothers. He plays a guy named Bobby Axelrod, who's like a billionaire investor. Okay. And it's a cat and mouse game of those guys trying to take each other out.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of a game of egos, and it's a game of like out strategizing each other. And he's trying to put Bobby in jail because like, I know you're crooked, but I can't figure out why. Meanwhile, his wife is the therapist that works at Axelrod Inc. Or like, she's the one that is like a performance coach for all of his people.
Okay.
Because that's her job. And so there's that dynamic too. And they kind of have like a flirtatious thing. And it's like, anyway, so the first couple seasons are really fucking good. But I think they're on, I think we're watching it on like Hulu now. It's one of those where it's like, it used to be a Showtime show, but now it's like been syndicated out throughout whatever. And they're just trying to finish it up. And literally every single fucking episode is 2 people sitting across the table from each other. Guess what I did today? And it's like, I tried to fuck you by doing the X, Y, and Z. And it's the definition of tell, don't show.
Lame.
Where it's gotten pretty bad.
See, I was going a different
But
way
I'm still
with
in
it,
for it.
right? Where it was like my dumb show, and I know it was your dumb show for a long time too. But this is years ago. Was Ballers.
Oh,
Where Ballers on HBO on a Sunday night or whatever. Yeah, like I've watched whatever Game of Thrones bullshit, like serious thing, and now I'm just watching The Rock, have sex and like do drugs and Rob Corddry's there. But it was that thing of like there was no, Ballers has jumped the shark. Ballers is just one day my brain was like, we're not watching Ballers anymore, and I never watched Ballers again.
No,
and I've never been like, how did Ballers end? I need to know.
Oh, I'll tell you how it ends.
How does it end?
It ends with him being an investor in like the Las Vegas football team.
See, and that was my thing is like,
And so you want to talk about jump the shark? That's when the season of this show actually got kind of boring because it got too broad.
Okay.
It went from him going, I'm going to be a talent manager, to the same thing happened with Entourage, by the way. I don't know if you ever watched Entourage, but it became like the Ari Gold character ended up fucking running the studio, which was that kind of makes sense because it happens in Hollywood all the time. But he was like, what's the big stake that's going to happen? And the whole time he was like, I want to be a part owner in a team because that gives me like real.
Yeah, I remember that. I vaguely remember that. Yeah,
and he was like, but I want to do it for the players so they get like medical care and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he also wants to be a billionaire. So they end up. That's how I think it ends with him standing on the hill, watching them like break ground on the new Coliseum or whatever it's going to be when the Raiders come to Vegas or whatever it was. But it was also one of those shows where you could tell the last season they were like, we're scraping along to get this done, and just get it.
Yeah, Entourage had been also. My problem with Entourage is that I watched Entourage not knowing that it was the dumb. This is just a background show. Where I kept waiting for Vinny Chase's terrible decisions to catch up with him. And they did a whole season where he was dating like Sasha Grey and a drug addict. And I was like, finally, we're going to get some character development. And by the end, it's like the fucking end of that Simpsons episode with Ron Howard and the money bags. Happy days are yours and mine. Like, he just gets out of it totally fine, scot-free. And he's right back to womanizing and being crazy and being Aquaman.
Both of those shows, and by the way, going back and watching Entourage, you want to talk about a show that could not be made today. I hate to use the word problematic, but we'll put that out
like
there. It's like
literally the Me Too movement.
You're like, holy
this
shit.
This is the root of the cause.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that notwithstanding, it's one of those things that is like Entourage, Ballers, for instance. You live vicariously through like the Vinny Chase or the Rock character, right? There's some level of it that's like, if you've ever liked sports or entertainment, there's a fantasy fulfillment element of like seeing what the rise is of someone who's becoming an actor who's going to be Aquaman and James.
Yeah.
But what I always liked about that was Vinny Chase is the worst character on that.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not about him; it's about the entourage. It's about sort of all of the people that get caught up in that orbit.
Yeah.
And the silliness that happens there. But people don't realize is that character, that Jeremy Piven character, is a real person.
Oh, sure.
Like it's based on a real guy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So, and apparently he's insane too. But yeah, I don't know. Ballers. I don't know if there are any of those shows on air right now that are like, let's tune out and just live vicariously through this person and watch them sort of rise to fame. I guess like Marvelous Miss Maisel was kind of that for a second for me.
Okay.
Where I'm like, this is as I start. What's that?
Lois Lane.
I know. Rachel Brosnahan. It was fun for me to watch that because it was right when I started comedy, and I was like, "Oh, what?" I'm like, and she would go to the clubs and bomb, and I was like, "Oh, that's actually pretty cool." There's a show about this. Like, this is speaking to me right now. Which is cool.
Yeah.
And then that one kind of went out, and then for whatever reason, they're like, "You know what's going to be great? We're going to take her out of the clubs of New York and put her in the Catskills." And
Why
she's
not?
Gonna fall in love with fucking Shazam. What's his
I
name?
didn't watch Zachary Levi.
Yeah, he's in it.
Oh, wow.
It got boring. Got weird.
That sucks.
But people tell me to come back to it. They're like, you gotta watch this.
People say come back to everything.
Oh, you gotta watch Andor. Even people watch Andor.
Just fucking watch Smallville. Be happy.
I'm with you with that show. Like, it kind of fell apart, but the ending is so good that it makes it worth coming back just to.
Can I just
see how
jump
they
into the
close.
last season?
Yeah, probably.
All right, I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
Because I want to know how it ends.
You
I
might
really
even
do.
be able to jump into the last episode. The way it.
No, I'll watch last season.
Yeah.
There's just so many good shows out there, man. I watched like, especially even on Amazon. I watched Jack Ryan. I love that fucking show. That
Jack
shit
Ryan
slaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aquaman from Smallville.
Was he?
Yeah.
Wait. Who was Aquaman from Smallville?
Jack Ryan.
The guy that played, what's his name's husband?
Yeah.
John Krasinski?
Oh
From
no.
Smallville?
What am I thinking of? What's
I don't know. What are you thinking of?
Yeah, chat. There's some other fucking like Jack Ryan show.
Oh, Jack Reacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're thinking
Jack Reacher. That's the
Alan
guy.
Richardson or whatever. That dude's fucking big.
Yeah.
He should be Batman. I've said it.
Isn't he too big to be
Fucking
Batman?
so big.
Yeah.
He's so big. Dude, I don't know what that guy did to get that big for Jack Reacher, but it can't be legal.
Oh, you're not competing.
That's fair.
The roids are legal as long as you're not like competing.
I don't
right?
think they're legal. I don't think.
Really?
I mean, you have. I don't think
Kevin, you told me they were legal.
that's why we
You said you're going to change my life.
Yeah, I don't know if
You
they're.
keep taking your special pills, all
Okay.
right, big boy?
I think if a doctor gives you testosterone, it's legal.
Okay.
But I think a lot of these guys get it illegally because
Oh,
they're
okay.
cycling on and on of these things, and I think it's damaging to your health, so it's not legally sanctioned by the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. I could be wrong though, and if I'm wrong, please start selling me some steroids right now because I want to go on T so badly.
Yeah, there he is.
That's him from like 20 years ago.
That's
Can
him
you
on
Google-
Smallville.
Can you Google him
That's
now?
a ridiculous
That's
like, outfit.
such a terrible
Listen,
costume.
there was
So
10
bad.
seasons of Smallville. We got a lot right. We got a lot wrong. Don't worry about it.
Can you Google Alan Richardson, Jack Reacher, shirtless?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I had a split-second thought the other day that you're going to really enjoy.
Okay.
You're going to really enjoy. And I wanted...
I love when you text me on the weekends.
Yeah.
As opposed to when Tim texts me. Different vibes.
Oh, yeah. Bro, I got bad news.
Okay. So don't
Business
freak out.
might be close.
Yeah.
But no. My split-second thought the other day was it was a stressful day already of content that was in front of me, right?
Yeah.
And it was one of those I got out of bed and just rake after rake after rake, right? Everything's going wrong. Like it's a tick, 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 tick.
Look at
Damn.
the fucking big
Jesus
guy.
Christ.
He's so big.
God bless him.
Yeah, he looked fucking great.
I got to take more selfies in hotel rooms. I took the one nude and showed it to you, but I don't tell you, everybody else I see, but everybody's got selfies.
You did. You
stuff
did.
up.
God, I've seen you guys naked a lot. It's weird.
So it's already like I got to get going, and I'm already Jesus Christ.
Okay.
this
He'd be an
guy.
awesome
You know what I
Batman.
mean?
He's
Are you kidding me? He would look so
bigger
big.
in
He's a
this
Thor.
Yeah, but I just feel like, man, it'd be cool to like, I don't know. I just like, I
You
like
already
him.
had the
I
perfect
like him
big
as an actor.
Batman and Batfleck. All right, now we're going the opposite way.
Oh, good for Ben Affleck. But he got through unscathed. Got through unscathed. What were you going to say? Sorry. Like texting me something?
No, a split-second thought that
Yeah.
you're going to enjoy.
Go for it.
Such a rough morning into what I knew was a rough day, and it's like it was one of those things where like I could literally feel my hair turning gray. You know what I mean? Of like all the things that are happening, blah. And I literally had that. You know how thoughts are. So this isn't like a real thought, but like that split-second thought of like maybe I'll go outside and have a cigarette with Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine?
That's one of
If
those
I was just like, Kev's like, I'm going for a cigarette with Cool Gun. I'm just like, I'm coming too. Just give
Yeah,
me one of
so
these.
I have a funny story about that.
Coughing like a 13-year-old behind the 7-Eleven.
I used to smoke a lot when we were in the Brisbane office.
Yeah.
Well, I smoked a lot when we were in the second in Townsend office as well. But when we were at IGN, I used to smoke probably about a half pack a day. And I remember smoking a cigarette outside with Craig Barrett on, and Per Snyder walked up and he goes, "Hey man, can I get one of those?" And I was like, "This is fucking awesome." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Absolutely, dude." And like we smoked a cigarette. And he's like, "I used to smoke a long time ago, but to have one of those days, like,
Yeah.
he's like, I just need a cigarette." I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude." And we just didn't talk about anything else.
Oh, no.
And then I smoked with him a couple times in Germany because when in Germany, he was
Oh,
like,
sure.
"I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a beer in the
International
garden
waters.
and
You're
smoke
fine.
that."
That's all.
But I'll never forget that. I remember like seeing the look in his eyes, and I'm like, "Man, you look like you've got the the freaking stress of the company on your shoulders,
Yeah.
needing a cigarette." You know, Perry's always smiling and laughing, so
Yeah,
I'll never let you know if he's
yeah.
stressed out or whatever. But yeah, that makes sense now.
He's like most Germans, very light and easy going
Just
usually.
always smiling, always
not a care in the
always
world.
cutting it up. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kinda Funny podcast where Nick and Greg just bullshit around with each other. If you want to bullshit with us, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny. Of course, over on patreon.com/kindafunny, you can get each and every episode ad-free. You can get 400 bonus episodes of content. You can be watching live as we record it. Just like Millie Hagler was, Lexi G was, DJ Kento was, Madeline Stanley were. They all enjoyed it. Melissa Hagler says, would recommend. Please recommend to your friends. Of course, like I said, ad-free, all that jazz. All the other shows live as recorded. Blah, 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 blah. If you're not there, though, youtube.com/kindafunny. Podcast services around the globe each and every week for a brand spanking new episode. Next week, we'll be back. Will we have Andy? Will we have Tim?
But we have
Maybe.
things.
I was going to tease other people. I don't think we have anybody.
Oh, fair. Got it.
I think
Got it.
that's-
I see where you're going.
It's a whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.